Hello and welcome to another video. It's 2014, so that means Happy New Year to everyone who has watched my videos and has subscribed to my channel, because I am really grateful, and yeah, just want to say a massive thank you, and I hope everyone has a really good year. So yeah, thank you very much. To start 2014 off, I thought I would go back and look at some of 2013's 50th celebration things for Doctor Who, and I thought it will be quite a nice one, a nice video to start off with an adventure in space and time, showing the origin of Doctor Who. Yes, so let's look at the DVD, then I'll actually go into my thoughts of the actual docudrama itself. So the cover is, well, you get two covers. This is the one you get when you first purchase this DVD. So let's look at the cover. So we've got BBC, DW, and then we've got a picture of David Bradley in the Unearthly Child costume, what he wore. And I think that was the first image we actually got of David Bradley in full Hartnell costume. We've got a BBC camera. The background is the sort of 1960s sort of title sequence. We've got an adventure in space and time, with the 60s sort of vortex. The story of Doctor Who begins here, PG. The spine, we've got DW there, and it carries on this 1960s sort of vortex. On the spine, adventure in space and time, PG, BBC. And on the back, we've got some of the cast members there. Bit of bio on the actual docudrama itself, on what it's about. The special features on this DVD, as you can tell, there are a lot more special features on this than the Day of the Doctor, and there are some pictures from the actual docudrama itself, which are really nice. The total running time for this is 83 minutes. So the other cover is basically done like a 1960s annual, which is a really nice little touch to it. As you can see, it's really nice. As you can see, it's got this really cool weathering effect, so it's, well, not weathering, but this sort of battered look to give it sort of this old look, and I really do like it. I prefer this cover to the one on the front, what I've just shown you, so I will possibly change it around, and the spine carries on this sort of battered effect, and it also has the old-fashioned BBC logo instead of the purple one, so that's quite a nice little attention to detail. On the back, we've got this nice alien landscape with the same information as before. The disc, you would expect it to be the cover, but it isn't. It is done as a film can. If I can just put it back in, there it is. Looks really nice. Instead of just having plain old writing, it's actually done sort of handwritten. Hopefully you can see that, and it's a really nice effect. You also get a little booklet, as you can see there, continuing the sort of, well, it's the same as the reversible cover. You can see it still has that battered look to it. Inside it has a note from Mark Gatiss, or Gatiss, saying why he wanted to do this, and on the other side we have some artwork from the Dalek invasion of Earth, which is really cool. And on the back we've just got some pictures from the docudrama itself. So yeah, now let's go on to my thoughts of this docudrama. An Adventure in Space and Time shows more than the origin of Doctor Who. It shows the struggle of Verity Lambert, being the first female producer, and there's one line in this what really does show this: a sea of fag smoke, tweed and sweaty men, because it was a man's world in the BBC television centre. Also, it shows the battle of Waris Hussein, the first Asian producer, and the docudrama also shows William Hartnell in a new light, and this docudrama shows the Hartnell's health slowly deteriorate through his tenure as the Doctor, and shows the determination for the Doctor to shows the determination for him to carry on being the Doctor. And this, for me, makes me see Hartnell in a new light. But he wasn't a crotchety man or difficult to work with. Difficult to work with. This shows Hartnell's battle and how he kept battling to keep the fans happy, and the docudrama shows what the role actually meant for him to play the Doctor. Also, this makes me appreciate Hartnell's later years as the Doctor. So at the beginning of the docudrama, hang on, I'll just start again. So if we go on to the actual story now, the docudrama is, in my mind, for a true fan, because it has some hidden cast members from the 60s, such as William Russell playing Harry, this sort of guard man, who played Ian Chesterton in the First Doctor companion. We had Jean Marsh and Annika Wilkes at Verity Lambert's leaving party, and Caroline Ford being this sort of parent figure, saying, "Oi, someone get inside, that programme you wanted to watch is on," which is nice to have some familiar faces. So at the beginning of An Adventure in Space and Time, it shows a police box with some fog around it. You sort of think it's the TARDIS, but it isn't. It's just a normal police box, and I think the fog in the TARDIS sort of hints at the unearthly child. Now, it starts off in 1966, and we see Hartnell sort of rather crotchety, and we see this sort of stage boy or whatever trying to call him to come to set, and you can see it all makes sense why he didn't want to go on set early. And when he walks into the TARDIS, he looks up and he closes his eyes, and then the sort of yearometer on the TARDIS changes back to 1963 to almost indicate that he's sort of flashbacking to the beginning of when he was cast as the Doctor, but obviously it shows more it shows the origin more than anything else at the start, and then it moves into Hartnell later on. The Dalek bit was excellent, with Sidney Newman reading the script while you had someone loading a gun to indicate Kennedy's assassination. This also ties in with the Dalek bit, being the Daleks being ruthless and merciless. But there were a few emotional bits in this, such as Hartnell saying that he had to, Hartnell being told that he had to leave. Hartnell uses the line "I don't want to go," as we all know. Tennant used that in his final episode as the Doctor in the End of Time Part 2. But I feel it was more right for David Bradley to say it, because David Bradley, I thought it sort of was more necessary for that than Tennant. And David Bradley did a wonderful job, and it made you sympathise with William Hartnell using that line. But the end for me was the most emotional, when you see Hartnell look over and he sees Matt Smith, and that sort of hints to the audience or Hartnell himself that the show's going to be alright, because nobody knew if it would still be a success without William Hartnell as the Doctor, but thankfully it was, or else I wouldn't be here sitting talking about this. So I did like that. It was a really nice little moment to include. I don't know if it was necessary, but I think it was necessary. I did enjoy having that little bit in it. Adventure in Space and Time I enjoy thoroughly. It is great. Every time I watch it I enjoy it more, and it's great, and it really does reflect, really does tell the story of Doctor Who well. There's not a lot more I can say. People who played the characters, such as David Bradley, Jessica Raine, did a wonderful job, and Brian Cox did a wonderful job portraying the people they were meant to be. David Bradley especially gets a shout out in this. He did a wonderful job. He really captured the essence of William Hartnell, and it's just a great thing to watch, so I would thoroughly recommend this. It's a thing you have to see, and for me it's made me sort of appreciate early Doctor Who a bit more. So yeah, I would definitely recommend An Adventure in Space and Time. this has been my review. Hopefully it's been good. There's been a few spoilers, so hopefully you guys have seen it, or else I have spoiled it. I will probably put spoilers are in this video in the comment section, well, in the description. Save ruining it for some people who haven't seen it. So yeah, so I would recommend An Adventure in Space and Time. My next DVD review will be of The Day of the Doctor. But for now, I want to wish you a Happy New Year again. Yeah, so thank you very much, and goodbye.